For this recipe, the ingredients I'm going to be using are almond flour for the crust with a little bit of brown sugar and some butter. Then for the cake part, we'll be using 1 pound of full-fat cream cheese, half a cup of whole milk Greek yogurt, half a cup of sugar, 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks, about a teaspoon each of the zest off of an orange and of a lemon. And then to make this a cranberry cheesecake, I have a cranberry sauce, and this is my homemade recipe that I will link in the cards as well in the description below. But you can use any cranberry sauce you happen to have. This recipe is a great way to use up cranberry sauce if you have it left over from the holidays. And the last ingredient is just a pinch of salt. We'll start with the crust. Add 2 tablespoons of butter to a bowl and go ahead and melt that. Then add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and 2/3 of a cup of almond flour. Mix that up, making sure you get rid of all of the lumps in the almond flour until everything is nice and mixed. I have a parchment paper round in my 7-inch push bottom pan, and I am going to just butter the edges of the pan so that the cheesecake will be easy to remove. Now add in your crust ingredients to the bottom of the pan and get those pressed down firmly and evenly along the bottom. Place the crust into the freezer while you work on the filling. For the filling, first thing, add 1 pound of cream cheese to your bowl, and you want to make sure that the cream cheese is room temperature and very easy to mix with a spoon. My cream cheese here is not quite to the right temperature, so what I'm going to do is put it in the microwave on 10-second intervals, stirring after each interval until it is very smooth and easy to mix. Now add in 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, the zest of about half of a large lemon. I didn't measure the zest, but it ended up that I zested about half of the lemon, and it was a pretty large one. Also zest half of a medium to large orange. I got so busy with my zesting that I forgot to add a pinch of salt, but you can add that at this point. Get that all mixed up until it is smooth and lump free, and I like to transfer over to a spatula at some point during the mixing. It just makes it easier. Now it's time to add the 2 egg yolks and the 1 whole egg. Add them one at a time and mix gently after each addition. At this point, you definitely don't want to overmix your batter. Now we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of the cranberry sauce, and we're not going to fully mix this in since we want it to be a cranberry swirl cheesecake. We're just going to very gently mix it in until it's nice and swirled. Now it's time to add the batter to the pan. Just make sure it's spread out evenly and a little bit smooth over the top. Tap the pan on the counter several times to release any air bubbles. Now take 2 tablespoons of the cranberry sauce and gently just spread it over the top. This is going to add a really nice swirl to the top, and it's just going to make it look really pretty. Now using a butter knife, just swirl the top of the cheesecake to get the cranberry sauce a little bit mixed in. There's no right or wrong here, just keep on going until it looks the way you want it. Cover the pan tightly with foil. Add 1.5 cups of water to the liner of your Instant Pot. And for this recipe, I am going to be using the silicone sling, but you could use the trivet that comes with the Instant Pot along with a foil sling if you want to have help getting it in and out of the Instant Pot. But this silicone sling just makes it a little bit easier. Lock the lid and make sure the valve is set to the sealing position. The cook time for this cheesecake is 40 minutes at low pressure. This will give you a really creamy cheesecake that's almost a mousse-like texture, but if you want a denser cheesecake, you can increase the pressure level to high. When the cook time is finished, let the pressure release naturally for 10 minutes and then quick release any remaining pressure. After carefully removing the cheesecake from the inner pot, go ahead and uncover it and allow it to cool on the counter for about an hour. After an hour of cooling, cover it again with the foil and transfer it to the fridge to chill. You want it to chill for at least 8 hours, but you're going to get the best texture and result if you let it chill for 18 to 24 hours. After the cheesecake is fully chilled, you can remove it from the pan and transfer it to a serving plate, and this cheesecake is ready to go. One tip for transferring cheesecakes to parties or gatherings is to use a plastic or glass bowl that is about the size of the plate that the cheesecake is on. Set the plate onto the lid of the container and then put the container right over top, and it makes a perfect cheesecake carrier.